So welcome everyone to Oshkosh United Spring Meeting. In tonight's agenda, we are going to cover a little bit about the club. And it's always important during the spring meeting to cover any elections that we need. So we need everyone to vote in the Google form that will be sent out to you later. There are certain bylaw changes that we'd like to cover with everyone that also are very important to have everyone's vote. We're also very excited to talk about our new uniforms, covering any changes or updates to the COVID-19 protocols, a little bit of help that we could use from the club, and cover any questions. I'm Jen Pakulke. I'm the board president. The following are the different members of the board who are available to help you with any questions that you might have. The best way to get a hold of us is to go to the Oshkosh United webpage and view the Contact Us section. One thing that I'd like to bring to everyone's attention is that we would like to expand our board. It is very important that we have parent involvement and participation to help drive the future of the club. If you are interested, please email the address that you see on the screen. I'd be happy to cover anything about what goes on the board, how we look for participation, and anything else that you might have as questions about what being on the board means.
And hi, my name is Matt Callahan. I'm the Oshkosh United Director of Coaching. I'm going to talk here a little bit about our soccer programming and the different programs that we have at the club. We do have some age overlap. So certain age players might have a selection of which program they'd like to be in based upon what they're looking for. So the first program I'm going to talk about is our United Rec League, or the URL. That's for U6 and U8 players. The program takes place in the spring, and all of the events are in Oshkosh. It's an introduction to soccer program that just has one event per week. Part of that event is a practice, and then part of that event is a scrimmage. The next program I'm going to talk about is our academy. Our academy has U8 and U10 divisions. It takes place in the fall and in the spring. Players can elect to play in one or both seasons. Academy teams have 2 practices per week and then a game on a Saturday morning. And the academy teams get to attend a tournament each season as well. And finally, I'll highlight on our Select and our Elite program. Our Select and our Elite is for U10 and up players. The youngest age group is U11, but we often have a lot of U10 players that will play on a U11 team. We have tryouts in June for our Select program. And then the season begins that fall and continues in the spring. We have optional winter training as well. Each team that is Select or Elite attends at least 2 tournaments per season as well. Select teams compete in our local league, which is called the East Central League. And Elite teams are teams that have are finished second in the East Central League. Then they can apply to be in the Wisconsin Youth Soccer State League to get additional competition. We'll touch briefly. Oshkosh United has some different social media accounts for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you use any of those social media platforms, please consider connecting with our club account.
One important part of the spring meeting is so that we're able to hold elections for different board positions. This year for election is the treasurer position. Rachel Johnson, who is our current treasurer, has offered to continue in this position. You will be receiving a Google form that has the information, so please make sure that you vote. The other aspect that we always need to be covering in our spring meeting is to give all of the members of the Oshkosh United Club an opportunity to look at any bylaw changes. The primary bylaw changes that we're looking for this year are to allow for electronic voting. COVID has really highlighted the need to have more than just in-person options. The requested bylaw changes that you'll see are all related to our ability to hold virtual options for voting.
All right, thanks, Jen. I'm now super excited to talk about our new club uniforms. Our current uniforms are out of production, so we'll transition to these new uniform kits for the fall season. Adidas is not making uniforms anymore in our shade of green. So we're getting custom-made Adidas uniforms, and I'm super excited to say that they'll be almost the exact same price as the uniforms that we're getting now. These featured our away uniforms. They'll have some black accents on the sleeves. and the upper back will have the United name. And we continue to push United over Oshkosh United to signify that we as a club, we're a united group of talented players from several communities, as opposed to just an Oshkosh club. Even more exciting than our away uniforms is our new home uniform. Gone are the days of having a drab all-white uniform. You can really see the customization with this jersey, which includes the green and black sleeves, green stripes and a logo, and then a black collar. We'll continue to have black shorts, so our new kit will look great with the combination of the green, the black, and the white colors. Moving on to slightly less exciting but equally important news, I'm going to discuss briefly our COVID protocols. I want to start by thanking everyone that participated in programming this fall for doing an amazing job of keeping our players safe. Around the Fox Valley, some clubs have a reputation of doing a great job of following the safety protocols, and others do not. At Oshkosh United, we did a great job in the fall, so I want to thank everyone, all the players, all the spectators, the parents, the guardians, for doing a great job in the fall season. Most of our protocols are going to be the same as the fall. As a club, we have to follow protocols from Wisconsin Youth Soccer, and we have to follow protocols from any venue that our event is taking place at. So our URL and our academy program and most of our select and elite practices take place at Tipler. So we have to follow Oshkosh Area School District policies in addition to Wisconsin Youth Soccer Association policies. The largest change I want to highlight is to our quarantine policy. Previously, if a player tested positive for COVID-19, it would be assumed that all players on that team had close contact with that player and would then have to quarantine for 14 days. New for this spring season is if a player tests positive for COVID-19, we're going to follow contact tracing, in which we'll assess if a player has had close contact for 15 minutes or more. It will be our goal as coaches to use mitigation steps to make sure that players never have more than 15 minutes of close contact during a practice or a game. Just like the fall, we'll continue to use either cones or painted spots. So when players arrive at practice or when they're taking a water break, we'll make sure that they're at least 6 feet apart during those times. We've also asked our coaches during games to make sure that players that are not actively playing in the game are at least 6 feet apart as well. So that way they're not having any close contact when they're not in the game. Just as in the fall, we'll ask players to do a health check in the Team Snap app before every practice and game. We'll also have hand sanitizer readily available. Hey, it's Matt again, hopping back in here with another quick update. About an hour after we finished this video, Wisconsin Youth Soccer released some updated guidelines. So I'm just editing this in here real quick so that way we can get that information out to you right away. So first off, the limit of 2 spectators was removed, but limited attendance is encouraged still to allow for social distancing. Also, mask wearing was made optional but encouraged for coaches and spectators. An emphasis was put on if coaches are not vaccinated, then they should strongly consider wearing a mask. And if spectators cannot be at least 6 feet apart from other families, then they should wear a mask as well. As I mentioned earlier, though, in addition to following these Wisconsin Youth Soccer protocols, we also need to follow the protocols and the guidelines of whatever venue that our events are taking place at has. So it's very feasible that the different venues we participate in, the different clubs we visit for our away events, they each might have some different protocols depending upon where their events are taking place. So for example, I've already had it confirmed that our events at Tipler at this point will still have a 2 spectator limit, and masks will be required of all coaches and spectators. That's in line with what the school district is doing for their high school athletics. So they're going to continue to have those guidelines for us as a youth club. As we do get updated information from the different venues that our events take place at, we'll be certain to pass that on right away. Thank you. Moving on from the protocols, we'll ask for some help. As a club, we have some functions that are performed by paid employees. We have other functions that are performed by volunteers. One of the largest club functions that we're looking for help for is our tournament, the Oshkosh on the Water Soccer Tournament. The tournament is our largest and really our only fundraiser. We bring in well over 100 teams each year from all over the state and sometimes from surrounding states. And so we're looking for some more help to run the soccer tournament. We're incredibly fortunate to have some staff and some tournament directors that have a tremendous amount of experience. So we're looking for some people that could come in this year and kind of learn the ropes a little bit and then take on more of a leadership role in the following years. So if you're interested in that, please don't hesitate to reach out to president@oshkoshunited.com, and then we can get you some more information about how you can join the tournament committee. Another need the club has is to get sponsors so we can help keep costs low. We typically start to look for sponsors right after we do the tryout process and we're building teams for the following year. So we just wanted to give a quick shout out. If you have a business or you work for a business that might be interested in sponsoring the club, please keep that in mind that we'll start to ask for sponsorships right around the June timeframe. And the last want that I'll highlight is for referees. Our region and really across the country, we're seeing a huge referee shortage. I know in the East Central Soccer District, we have about half the number of referees that we had 2 years ago. So we're having a huge push where we're trying to get information out about becoming a referee. Parents could become a referee, older players could become referees. It's a great way to give back to the game. For our youth players, it's a great part-time job for them with a flexible schedule and good payments as well. So if you're interested in being a referee, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me at matt@oshkoshunited.com and I can get you some more information about becoming a referee. I took the course myself this past year to see what it's like. I learned a lot about refereeing and I thought it was very well done. It's a great way to learn more about the game. With that, I'd also highlight we are going to have a lot of young referees this upcoming season and for the years to come. Our young refs, they're learning about the game as well, and they're learning how to be a referee. So when you're out there as a spectator, as a coach, as a player, please be understanding of that. It's definitely not part of the game to yell and heckle referees. A lot of the young referees can't handle that, and then they quit. We have measures in place to mentor referees and to get them support if they're ever struggling with an aspect of refereeing. So please let the system do the work with that. And we'll hopefully have a higher referee retention rate if we don't have any spectators or coaches yelling and screaming at referees.
Thank you all for spending some time with us tonight. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.